Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Skills Go Up Devlog. This is episode 8 in the series, and it's been 8 days about since the last episode, so a lot has gotten done. As has been the case since this project began, I'm spending like a ridiculous amount of time every week just working on this. It's excessive, really. I don't know how I've kept up this motivation, but it's working out for me, so yeah. Anyway. In no particular order, we will start with the new additions, which the first thing that I did after the last episode was add lore books. So yes, we have lore books. You have actual lore. I took some effort to write some lore. It's not necessarily final lore, but it might be. It genuinely might be. But yes, it supports chapters and pages. It has a scroll bar. All the standard stuff, all the basic UI elements that we have been using. And of course, we have a second book. This book doesn't have chapters. It's just notes. It all works, still supports that. It's all good. And if we go over here, through this here door, you can actually have it on the ground too. And yeah, it's pretty nice. I'm happy with it. There's a lot in here. We'll come back to that later. Now, you might have noticed wind. This was something that I was working on right before the last video, but I didn't have a good methodology for it yet. This is beautiful. I love it. At least I'm pretty sure it wasn't in the last video. But yeah, this wind is amazing. There is a setting to turn it off, and it can change direction. It doesn't appear in places that are indoors. I can set it per map to be anything I want. And I could customize it more in the future. It's very customizable because it's literally just lines moving around. I could change the speed. I could change everything. But I love it. It adds a lot. It's inspired by Wind Waker, honestly. I did originally describe this game as Zelda meets RuneScape. And the more I go on, the more I realize I've been adding things from Zelda, even not on purpose. And this update sees more of that, actually. But anyway, so the next thing, we actually do need to go back in there. But one last thing, I'll skip around in my list a bit. The settings page now actually shows the background. That is an issue that I was struggling with from the very beginning of the settings page. It had the code for it. It just wasn't working. It's because when I Googled advice for it, it gave me bad advice. And once I figured out the correct way to do surfaces, it was able to just do it. And it's nice because it hides the menus whenever you do it. So even if you're in that, it disappears. But yes, so the next thing is I added the concept of world containers. So this is things in the world that can hold items. So you have safes. Most of them don't have items in them right now. I actually don't remember if I put items. What the heck? Oh, there it is. I missed it for a second. I think I put items in a barrel out here somewhere. Yes, up here. There we go. So yeah, containers can have items in a variety of ways. They use a drop table just like monsters, so it can choose a random item. You can just put one item in there that's guaranteed. They can regenerate items over time. It uses the same farming tick system for how long, and then you leave an area, come back, there'll be items in it again, a different item. Containers can be locked, so you can have to use your thieving skills to get into them, or you can have a key. And there's a lot of different containers. We have crates, we have barrels, we have chests, we have safes, we have dressers, nightstands, and then a special type of container, which is the pot, which you can break, and it can contain an item. So that's one of the accidental Zelda things that I was talking about. I haven't put any items in them yet, but that's the idea. They're breakable pots, and who knows what goodies you'll find in them. Next thing I need is cuttable grass, right? That's the logical next point for this. But anyway, I've actually added so many random things that it's actually hard to keep track of what they all are. You saw a lot of the containers inside there, though. But what else do we have out here? Right, the fence and gate. Down here we have the fence and gate. You can open up the gate, you can fit through it. It's pretty good stuff. It's drawn dynamically, so it's not a set image for the fence because it doesn't tile very well that way, and it still doesn't tile perfectly, but it's at least better than nothing. But yeah, it can be vertical or not. good stuff. You might notice as well, the red enemies aren't running around like maniacs anymore. I got tired of that debug nonsense, so I gave them the normal wander code that the other guys had this whole time. I did add a bench. There's the bench. It's getting hard to remember what all I added, but yeah, I added benches. You can't sit in them. They're just a decoration. Okay, this guy's freaking out. Yeah, I added AI as well. It's not very good right now, but it exists. They at least try to path to you. And there is a debug mode. Which button is it for debug? Yeah, there it is. There's the path. He's trying his best, okay? We'll get it figured out. But anyway, what I was saying, one of the big things I started off this week working on was just trying to figure out decoration stat for map building, because obviously I can't make a map if I don't have things to put in it. So that's where the start with containers came from. I wanted to have things to put in houses. And, crates and barrels are good for putting outside too. And then I added benches because they're a nice decoration. I added fences, gates. I added a flower pot, which I believe I put inside here. Yes, this is a flower pot. You can actually set it to grow a plant, and it will look like it does in the farming plots. If you remember that from, I don't know what episode that was. The second one, maybe? First one? Who knows? It was a long time ago. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And I think that's it for the decoration stuff for now. So we do have the bed. The bed is actually functional, though. You can sleep for up to 10 hours. Eventually, I'm going to have a limit where you can't sleep if you've slept recently. Like, you'll have, like, hours rested in the past day or something. But it does it by hour. It's kind of inspired by Elder Scrolls, where I've set it up where an event trigger plays every hour, so I could have things happen while you're sleeping. But also, it'll advance time, so your crops might do a farming tick for each hour or something. The final balance is to be determined, but something like that. Next up, we need to go to the bank. Good old bank, which is down here. I gotta get unique appearances for the NPCs soon. The bank. So another Zelda-ism is the boomerang. We have a whole bunch of boomerangs, including a magic boomerang. I'll show that one off because it shows off two things at once. All right, so this is the magic boomerang. It's a homing attack thing. It does a little circle. If you're in range of an enemy, it will hit them. But also, one of the big things that I was working on is lighting. Now, which button is it for lighting? There we go. Lighting environment cave. So yes, this is cave lighting. And look at that. It glows. It's amazing. Let's go into the bank because we have more stuff. We have the mining helmet. We also have the firefly ring made from metal fireflies, which are made from metallizing fireflies using the metallized spell that we added for isopods previously. Yeah, you can equip that. Now we have a nice flickery glow. We can equip this. It's extra bright. Pretty cool stuff, right? There we go. Back to outdoor lighting. We also have, yes, we can kind of cycle through darknesses to show like a time thing. This is why I had to make the ground green, because it doesn't really look very good if it's a black background. But yeah, the lighting engine was tough. I want to add shadows. You might have seen shadows on the settings menu, but they don't work very well. I don't know if they're going to work out. It might have to be a dumb lighting system, because I would have to design custom sprites, and I don't know. Shadows just work better when you have a 3D environment. Doing them in 2D, well, the way I want to do them, I'm not sure it's going to work out. But anyway, what else we got? Oh, right, rainbow fire. So to test out collared lighting, I added a magic log inspired by RuneScape. And you can burn it. And it makes a rainbow fire, kind of like the rainbow sheep from Minecraft. So yeah, you can see that there is a little bit of color to the lighting, which I honestly thought would be harder, but then I looked it up. It's actually not that hard, which is surprising. But I guess that's just the Minecraft modder in me. Colored lighting in Minecraft always seemed crazy, but when it's your own engine, it's not quite as hard. Outside of that, we have the jeweler's bench, which is this thing. So yeah, this is where you can do your jewelry work, which is specifically where you're going to put gems and things into rings, because That's actually not something you just do with your hands normally in real life. Not like RuneScape does it. That's actually something that requires a bit of effort. So I made an actual crafting location for it. It also just gives us a set area for this. And the cool thing about the bench is that it actually provides a tier 1 chisel. So for the lower tier chisel stuff, you can actually do it here without having to have a chisel with you, which I think is a nice little convenience. But then you keep the whole necessity of upgrading your chisel for the higher stuff. And maybe I'd make it where you could use a chisel on one to upgrade it permanently. I don't know. It's in the future. But yeah, now we have that. I do love how the Firefly Ring worked out, where just things that I had added to the game previously all worked together to make this really cool item. And now it exists as a light source. What else we got? Right, Cliff High Side Projectile Logic is the next one. So basically, projectiles can travel over the cliff from the high side to the low side, but not the other direction. And I could show this, I guess. Let's do this. So we can make him angry. Oh, right, he can use the shortcut. He's probably the worst choice I could have made for this. But yeah, you can see it can't hit him there. So that's basically how it works. If I had anyone else smart enough, I could shoot at him, but it's one-directional collision, which was a little trickier than I expected, but it works, and it's pretty cool. It might be complicated in the future, but for now, I'm happy with it. What else? All right, improved targeting. I just improved the targeting code a bit. I actually don't even remember what improved targeting means. Yeah, I don't remember, but it's better now somehow. Oh, that was a while ago. That was like 5 days ago that I did that. I think in general it's just more consistent, less annoying. And oh right, I remember it prioritizing. That's what it is. It prioritizes things differently now. So in combat you might not be able to target passive stuff or items or things, or like the kite. You might not want to, shoot a kite with an arrow when you're in combat. So now you don't have to worry about that. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. This is why this episode's a bit later in the week than I expected, because my voice. But anyway, a lot of the things we're talking about are kind of obvious. You've seen them. I did add lava. We have lava enemies. We have the Vampire Scout, which can be on land and lava. We have, what is this guy called again? Okay, that's examining the lava. But this guy, he's the lava jelly, I believe is what I call him. The idea is he's a lava jellyfish. But I do realize jelly could also mean like the mythical jelly. So maybe I should say jellyfish. I don't know. But he's annoying. He just shoots you with fire. Let's get away from him. But yeah, obviously lava was coming. Vampires have this whole lore. If you read the book, you would have seen a little bit of it if you paused the screen, I guess. But yeah, I planned all these species out like 2+ years ago, so it's nice to finally do something with them. Anyway, flying enemies, right, yes. Where did the guy go? The Nomoth. Which I'm not happy with the name Nomoth, but that is what he's called. Did I kill him? Well, he was fluttering around here earlier, so I don't know. Oh, there he is. He's just wandered off really far. But yeah, this is a flying enemy. You can't melee him, so we can kill him with a boomerang, though. Hooray. But yeah, he just flies around. He's passive, so he won't attack you unless you attack him, but then he'll keep his distance and hit you with magic. Just a pretty standard flying thing. He doesn't have to worry about collisions like a normal thing, but I do have collision set to where there's an object height. So there is a height that they can't fly over. So if I want to wall them off, or if I want to have like flying things in a cave and not be able to fly into the void of the cave, things like that, I have a way to block them. But for the most part, they just kind of ignore things. And then the projectiles they fire will also need to ignore things because they're being fired from above. And I don't think I programmed that part yet. I need to double check that. It was something I thought of while at work and then forgot. Oh, and I also forgot to show off, he does have a new special spell, which I didn't let him use, but we can just use it ourselves because I gave his spell to me as well. It's a cyclone. It follows enemies around slowly, so Yeah, it's not a huge deal to fast enemies, but it does damage over time for a while before it fades away. Pretty cool stuff. Outside of that, he has Magic Bolt, which is, I think this is one of the new features. It's listed under that flying enemies thing, but yes, this is Magic Bolt. You can choose its type. It basically replaces the like conjured enemy attack. It becomes the basic magic attack. You can choose your type for it. Eventually, you'll have to unlock each type, but for now, we just give them all. But I do have support for unlockable types. Which one did I put that on? Oh, I put that on the Conjured Mage. That's right. So now the Conjured Mage can have a type. It changes his little color of his staff there, and that's the type attack that he'll use, which is pretty neat. But yeah, it's the standard thing that I'll probably be using for a lot of enemies from here on out until I want to give them their own special attacks. I just figured it made more sense to have one standard basic projectile instead of having to make new ones for each thing. So now it's just one standard, can be all types. Easy peasy. Anyway, what's up next? Right, the corner cutting logic can be next. You've kind of seen it in action already, but basically, before this update, if you wanted to get in between these two rocks, it was basically impossible. Now, it's a piece of cake. It kind of slides you in when you get close to the corner. This is a feature that honestly, it's completely logical and makes total sense, but I had honestly only even considered adding it because I remembered it kind of happening in Zelda A Link to the Past. When you try to go indoors, it always felt like you kind of curved into them. So that's what made me look it up, and I was like, oh yeah, I probably could have used that in some of my game ideas, and however many years it's been I've been throwing together games. It makes a lot of sense. It makes things feel so nice to not get stuck on just every little corner. Just slide around. It's perfect. I love it. Next up, we actually need to head back into the other room. I added spikes. They're gonna hurt you in the future. I don't think I got around to programming that part. This is actually a timed spike, but I didn't set the timer for it right now, so it's not going it. But the idea is, one of them, or maybe this is the timed one. But anyway, one of them is a timed one where it'll just go up and down at a rhythm constantly, and then the other one's like a trap, so you'd step on it and then it would hit you after a set delay, which is pretty cool. Next up, explosive barrels and poison barrels. We'll start with the poison barrel. Apparently the boomerang doesn't work on that, so let me unequip that. I think I did specify melee for the barrels. But yeah, it just makes a little field of poison that poisons anything that's standing in it. And then the explosive barrels, a classic for any game. Boom, they can chain react. Yep, pretty good stuff. Very basic right now, but they can destroy any breakable, which includes pots. Pots are a breakable. They're both breakable and a container. They do so many things. But yeah, that's explosive barrels. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I just had the idea and had to add them. It's just how it is. Next up, we have multiple action bars because just one is not enough. So you can hold 0 and then you can swap between your 3 action bars. 3 is just a placeholder number. I just wanted support for the system in the future. You'd be able to create, I don't see really any reason to limit how many you can create, and you'd probably be able to export them and import them and everything once the system's finalized. But for testing purposes, you get 3. And it works on controller too. It swaps a little differently. Because on the controller, you only get 4 slots, and then you press a button to swap between the 1 through 4 and 5 through 8. But if you hold that button down and do left or right, it'll change it to a different action bar. So it's all fully thought of on how it would work on controller, because I'm trying to keep controller support in my mind every time I do anything with controls from here on out. So I don't have to worry about that. Anyway, something else you've probably seen is birds. That was a mourning dove. He flies away. Birds have 3 ways they can fly away. That was the most boring one. There he goes. And I thought I added a 3rd bird, but honestly, I had made a note. Oh, there he is. He's supposed to look like a crow. I don't know why he's a blue jay, but I forgot to fix that. It was in my notes to fix that. But either way, they can land on trees. So let me leave and come back, and we'll try to get one to land on a tree, because it's a pretty cool feature that they can do that. There he goes. He lands on the tree. So When they fly, they become invincible after like 10 frames, which is 1/6 of a second, so basically instantly. But once they land on a tree, they're targetable again. So if I equip my boomerang again and sneak up on them, because they have stealth mechanics. They actually have stealth mechanics. So yeah, you can sneak it up, but he saw me. Birds are supposed to be really hard to sneak up on. Frogs are meant to be a little easier, but I'm not trying to sneak up on this frog. I want him to jump in the water. But yeah, I just thought it'd be fun to have some actual passive things that run away from you. And they have a vision cone in front of them. They have a like blindness cone behind them where they're less likely to notice you, but they'll still notice you behind them. And the idea is as your stealth ability goes up or you're sneaking and stuff, you'll get better at getting up to them. Certain projectiles now have stealth stats that make them better for it. Like slingshots in general are pretty good. Arrows are not that great, but then magic is mostly terrible except for certain spells like Dark Bolt. It's this whole thing. It's pretty cool. It kind of works right now. It's not perfect. The frog especially is kind of stupid. I knew exactly how to steer him into the water so he'd actually work well. He can't just run in the wrong direction and stand there while you're right in front of him. He's pretty dumb. Anyway, next up, back into here. Now, I'm sure you've seen the stalagmites standing mightily. That's how you remember the stalagmites versus stalactites. But the other ones are here. They're right here. You can see the shadows. When you walk under them, there is a chance they'll fall and hit you. The timing's not quite right. The idea I want is for it to drop as you're walking towards it so it hits you when you're there and you don't have to stop on it. Although you could put something to interact with one there and it hits you. But it's the classic trap of something falling off the ceiling and hitting you. Because why not? I am putting a lot of thought into what I want in spelunking as a skill because that skill does excite me. Huh. I guess that magic doesn't work on birds. I thought I'd try it. It's never been tested. But yeah, another thing, I made redwood trees big, but you can go behind them because thankfully the trunk is only solid at the base and not the entire way because that would just be obnoxious. But yeah, it didn't make sense to have them be small. We also have mushrooms down here. They're all the same object, just differentiated. I don't think they have an examine. It doesn't look like. But yeah, the idea is you'll be able to pick them. They'll be able to do certain things. One of them is a glow mushroom, so, well, if I wasn't wearing a bunch of glow items, maybe you'd be able to tell. Oh, I unequipped the wrong items. Yeah, there it goes. See, that one glows a bit. 2 of them are meant for the outdoors, 2 are meant for caves, and then 1 is meant for both. But yeah, just basic mushrooms, standard stuff, based on real mushrooms. All that good nonsense. And then I believe I only have one more thing on my list, unless I've forgotten anything. The mushrooms weren't on the list, so it's entirely possible I've forgotten something, like the fact that I did redesign some of the objects to fit into the 16x16 grid better. Part of it was just to make the pathfinding work better, which I know I'm not doing a good job of showing that off right now. But part of it's just because it just looks better to have things fit in the grid, which we can see the grid now. But yeah, so the last thing is fish. Where are they? Now, I don't know, a week plus ago, like a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, I came up with a list of fish for the fishing skill, but it was such a long list that I didn't actually bother making them. But here they are. Some of them look quite stupid. But this is the list of fish, the entire list of fish for the fishing skill until I think of more to add. They're all based on real fish except for the Nassari, which is meant to be like a tiny Loch Ness Monster type thing. It looks kind of silly in this picture because drawing a Loch Ness Monster would be too hard. But yeah, most of them just use the basic fish model. Yeah, it's a pretty good list. It's meant to be mixed up between freshwater and saltwater fish. Kind of alternating, I think, if I remember correctly. I'd have to go through it again. But there's different fishing techniques and things. Eventually, we'll have to actually add the training methodology for fishing, but beyond the basic gathering that we can already do, just being at water and, fishing if you have a fishing rod. But that is a problem for the future. Yeah, that is, I believe, everything that I have added in the past 8 days. Yeah, it's a lot more than I thought, but it's honestly, when it gets down to it, a lot of very similar things. I'm more just compounding my previous efforts together. Like, all the efforts building all the various systems is now making it somewhat easier to add things that seem like they're complex, but they're not. Like, the flying guy is just the collision system, but he ignores most collisions. Pretty simple stuff. Things like that. Lava, literally just water, but red. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Like I've said previously, we're trying to stick to about one a week. I've apparently defined the end of the week to be Sunday. So, yeah, sometime in the next 7 days, there will hopefully be another episode with probably less progress, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. Part of that's because I am working on my Minecraft mod a bit, which I hadn't worked on in 2 years as well. Yeah, I think around the time I was planning out the races for this game, not specifically this game, but this game world, is whenever I was planning out Craftamari as well. It's interesting. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.